say, okay, I'm going to blow this fuse or not blow this fuse, and then it's going to be that way for the rest of its life. Okay. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be the one with the aluminum chunk in it if it's always on though?
Because it's going to be changing. Okay, hold on. So ROM is made at the manufacturer. Programmable read-only memory is you as a person can get this virgin piece of memory, and then you can write the ones and zeros you want into it. But once again, once it's programmed, bam, that's it. Okay. So this guy is done by the manufacturer, the programmable read-only memory. You're the one that's going to do it, but once you've done it, it's done. You decide, hey, I want to change my code, you go buy a new chip. So there's PROM for programmable. EPROM, electrically programmable read-only memory. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. E is going to be erasable. So erasable programmable read-only. These guys, which one of these is going to be, because we want to be able to erase it, which one of my memory cells there do you suppose we're going to use? The third one, where we're going to put the charge onto the plate. Is that all right? Turns out that we can get that charge off of there by shining ultraviolet light on it. Now, I'm not talking just taking it out of the sunlight. This is really, really intense ultraviolet light. Okay? So you could program it, but then you could erase it with ultraviolet light. It would take about 3 minutes to erase a chip. Not very fast. Then there is EEPROM. Okay, ROM stands for read-only memory. Is it random access?
Yes.
Yes. P stands for
Programmable.
E stands for
Erasable.
erasable. This E stands for electrically. Pain in the neck to have to shine ultraviolet light on these things. Okay. Everybody okay so far with my terms? Okay. Then we've got static, dynamic, volatile, I think I've spelled those right, and non-volatile. Okay, so static means what?
Stationary.
Pardon? Not changing, but not changing as long as you have power applied. So of my 4 memory types, which one is static? In other words, it will hold the information as long as you don't lose power. If you lose power, everything's gone.
RAM.
Of my 4 memory cells over there, which one is static?
The with no charge? Once it's charged, you don't have to.
The capacitor one.
No? How about my cross-coupled gates? How long will that information stay there? As long as you got power. If you ever lose power, you have no idea what the 1 and 0 combination is. So that first cross-coupled gate is a static RAM cell. Okay. Which one do you suppose is dynamic? Dynamic means, hey, it's going to go away. Even though I've got power, it will eventually go away. Which one is that? It's the one where we're storing it as on the capacitor, right? So, question?
The inlet?
The very end one, yes, that was, I should have, on that very end one, put in a dotted capacitor from the gate to the ground. So it's a, it's a parasitic capacitance. And then we can charge that up and then it'll go away. So your dynamic memory can be very small, very tiny. I mean, you can get a bunch of memory because you're only using a single transistor in there. The downside is that it's dynamic. It has to be read and then refreshed. So the dynamic memory in your computers, and I swear you've got dynamic memory in there, it has to be read every so often and then refreshed or it gets lost. Now that refresh time is probably on the order of 100,000 times a second or something like that. Now it seems like a lot, but by computer standards, that's pretty slow. So, everybody okay with dynamic memory? So static would be our cross-coupled gates. As long as you have the information there, or as long as you got power, it stays. Dynamic, it goes away. Volatile also means that if the power ever goes away, it's lost. Non-volatile, you don't have to have power, it stays. So take a look at some of the memory that you have. Nowadays with cloud storage, most people don't even have personal memory, but does everybody know what a thumb drive is? Good. Haven't gotten that old yet. All right. So describe a thumb drive. Random access.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is it volatile, non-volatile?
Non-volatile.
Non-volatile, right? Static, dynamic.
Static.
It's kind of a misnomer because we really don't need power there, but it is certainly non-volatile memory. All right? It does not need any power. So of your flash drives, like in your thumb drive, which one of those things are we going to do over there? We're going to store charge on the aluminum chunk that's embedded into the glass. Is that all right?
Do any of these have like how many times they can be read
yeah.
or written or?
100,000 times or something like that, 100 years, something along those lines. That sounds like a long time? But what happens to all the photographs that you're carefully saving away on your media? Your great-great-grandchildren may not have access to. Interesting. Because I swear it'll eventually go away. So you've got to do backup, or you've got to do technology transfer. You've got to take this and then put it onto something more permanent or something. Everybody okay? All right. Okay, I had passed on the Canvas, I had put the next homework assignment. What I wanted you to do was to make a memory cell out of a smaller cell, and we just didn't get that covered. So we'll do that next time. There's a second part of that, though, and that's another Arduino program. Oh, let me ask you, everybody get the Arduino light blinking?
I ordered the wrong one. I did get the program to work, but I just wanted to let you know.
You ordered the wrong board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next one, though, is we're going to, you know that you connect this guy up to your computer, right, through the USB. You can actually have it communicate to the monitor. And so get we'll do a hello world type thing out. I know that hello world is typically where you have it print out hello world. In the Arduino world now, they say hello world is flashing LEDs. I want you to put out the current date that you ran the code and your name onto the serial monitor of your computer, and then take a screenshot of that. That's due in Friday. So the memory part of that homework, I'll hand that out, or that will be due in on Friday, and then the Arduino problem will also be due. Okay.